Hey guys, sarferaaz here. In the last video of this channel, which is the part 1 of the Zodiac Killer, I was talking about all the murders he committed and all the evidence collected against him and all the eyewitness collected against him. He was an unidentified American serial killer. He called himself the Zodiac Killer. He claimed to have murdered 37 people approximately. This was the first ever place where the Zodiac Killer murdered 2 high school students. And soon after this, they were at a point of a gun. Even before David was fully out of the car, he was shot in the head. He heard sounds of pain. Darlene was moaning back there in pain. This was the incident where the Zodiac Killer was almost caught by the police. But due to a very simple negligence, he would have gone missing again. 2 police officers also came to the spot and they also saw the man walking past them. Till now, till date, the Zodiac Killer's identity is concealed. He still remains missing. But if you want some more additional information, click over here and watch the part 1 of this video. So in this video, just like I said before, I'll be talking about the prime suspect who was expected to be the Zodiac Killer and the final letter from the Zodiac Killer to the police department and some interesting facts about this case. So make sure you don't skip this video and watch it till the end. Before we get into this video, if you're coming here the first time and you're looking for ways to become the best ever version of yourself and gain amazing levels of knowledge, you have come to the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for new videos every week, and without wasting any more time, let's get into the video right now. So after the year 1971 and killing a few more people, the Zodiac Killer remained silent for nearly 3 years. The San Francisco Chronicle received a letter from him. In that letter, he made a reference to the movie called The Exorcist. We all must have known. It was an American horror film which came out in the year 1973. He referred to that movie that was the best satirical comedy, which means sarcastic comedy that he has ever seen. How come a horror movie could become a comedy? Sounds weird, right? And if you're a person who has watched the movie, you would know it would be terrible. How could it become a comedy to the Zodiac Killer? He also concluded the letter by saying this: Me 37 SFPD 5. This means that the Zodiac Killer has murdered 37 people. But the San Francisco Police Department were only able to identify 5 people. And additionally, this was considered to be the last ever letter from the Zodiac Killer. After this letter, there were no more letters, there were no more murders, so we can understand that the Zodiac Killer started to live like a common man. But the most interesting part over here is that, although his face was revealed by the police and all the newspapers in San Francisco, he was not caught and he was not able to be identified anymore. But during the course of investigation, the police came across a very suspicious person. He was almost expected to be the Zodiac Killer himself. Who was he? His name was Arthur Leigh Allen. Arthur Leigh Allen was the most suspicious person in the case of the Zodiac Killer. For a 75%, he was expected to be the Zodiac Killer. What made him the prime suspect? Let's look into the facts. So the first person who got the confusion on Allen was Detective John Lynch. Because during the Lake Berryessa murder, where Brian and Cecilia were stabbed to death by the Zodiac Killer, Allen was considered to be scuba diving in Lake Berryessa. Again in 1971, a confusion arose on Allen, because his friend Donald Cheney has reported to the police that Allen had a desire to kill people, and he also used the name Zodiac a few more times to him. Let's look into some information about Allen. He was 58 years old during the investigation. In 1958, he was discharged from the US Navy for certain reasons, and he was also fired from his job as an elementary school teacher for misbehaving with students. Finally, in 1974, Allen was arrested for sexually assaulting a 12-year-old boy. He was found guilty and served 2 years imprisonment. So after the death of Allen in 1992, the police started to make things clear. What they did was, they took Allen's photo to Michael Mago, who was shot by the Zodiac Killer and he was still alive. Upon seeing Allen's photo, he started screaming, "Yes, that's the man who shot me." The police were surprised, but later they did not take this fact into consideration, because the police were aware that the Zodiac Killer's voice and Allen's voice were very different. Because as we saw in the last video, the Zodiac Killer himself called the police and accepted the murders. So the police were able to process his voice. But it was very different from Allen's voice, so they ignored this fact. But when the police investigated Allen's house, they discovered a watch which had the symbol of the Zodiac Killer in it. It aroused a lot of confusion, but later it was identified only to be a watch company. Here comes the most interesting part. Only in the year 2002, Arthur Leigh Allen was confirmed not to be the Zodiac Killer. I got you right. Because the San Francisco Police Department conducted a partial DNA test. and compared it to Allen's DNA. But wait a minute. Where did they manage to collect the DNA from the Zodiac Killer, where they didn't even know who was he? The letters, envelopes and stamps sent by the Zodiac Killer contained a bit of saliva in them. The DNA was extracted and it was compared to Allen's DNA, but it did not make a match. And later, Allen's handwriting and the Zodiac Killer's handwriting were compared and they were not matched as well. There were two things that proved Arthur Leigh Allen was not the Zodiac Killer. The first one is the age. Arthur Leigh Allen was already 56 years old, while the Zodiac Killer was described to be only a 26 to 30-year-old male. And apart from that, the picture. While Allen's face and the Zodiac Killer's face were compared, Allen's face was too round. So from all this, we can understand a simple fact, that the San Francisco Police Department didn't even come close to identify who is the Zodiac Killer actually. So all their extensive search and all their investigation, all their efforts were in vain. The Zodiac Killer was still missing and he was revolving around the city like a common man. So from the whole case of the Zodiac Killer, we can understand some hidden information, like reading between the lines. Let's look into it. The Zodiac Killer wanted to go viral. After a second set of murders, he himself called the police to report the killing and also accepted his last murder. From this, it is very clear to understand that the Zodiac Killer wanted attention on him. Secondly, the Zodiac Killer may have served in the military, because the police identified that the letter sent by the Zodiac contained army cryptography. He also altered the code so that it would be much difficult to figure it out. Additionally, the shoe print found at one of the crime scenes of the Zodiac Killer revealed that he wore boots used in the military. And finally, a cartoonist named Robert Graysmith wrote a book about the Zodiac Killer titled The Zodiac in 1986. He became so obsessed with the case and left his job to spend more time poring over his witness statements, police records, and anything else he could find, just with the intention of identifying who is the Zodiac Killer. After all this you've heard, I guess it is time for you to think about who is the Zodiac Killer. Is it really Arthur Leigh Allen, or is it someone else? Who do you think would be the actual Zodiac Killer? There are a lot of suspects, but Arthur Leigh Allen was the prime suspect in this case. And finally, this video comes to an end with the conclusion that the Zodiac Killer was still missing. And this, just like I said before, and I'm repeating it, this is one of America's unsolved mysteries. So what do you think about this video? You're free to comment anything down below. So that's it for today guys. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for new videos every week. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.
I'll bring that